Recently on this very YouTube channel, we pondered the video game side quests that, like a dangerously spicy eating challenge, are better left unfinished. The comments on that video were full of viewers speaking from hard-won experience, sharing their own suggestions for side quests that, if completed, will, again, much like a dangerously spicy eating challenge, leave you full of sadness and regret. Sometimes you've just got to learn to walk away. And sometimes you can learn from the mistakes of others by watching what would happen if you finished these 7 more side quests that you should never finish. Enjoy, and beware spoilers ahead for the following games.
The world is on the brink of going boom boom. This is our most desperate hour. Unless we make a stand, here and now, we're gonna die. Now.
Roll for initiative, suckers! Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragonkeep is the Borderlands 2 expansion set inside the world of that beloved quintessential fantasy tabletop role-playing game, Bunkers and Badasses. Any resemblance to Dungeons & Dragons is pure coincidence, and frankly, we don't see it.
The power of fantasy.
In the world of B&B, Claptrap has become a wizard, but lacks the defining wizard characteristic of having a massive beard.
Fact! Robots are incapable of growing beards. Turbo fact! If you could get me some dwarven beard hair, I would look swank as heck!
This beardlessness gives rise to the side quest that, judging by the deafening call from the comment section in our previous video, gave the most people the most regret upon finishing it in just about any game ever. In the side quest known as The Beard Makes the Man, Claptrap drafts you to construct him a wizard beard out of dwarf beards. To achieve this, Claptrap gives you Miss Moxie's grog nozzle, which is a gun you shoot dwarves with to make them drunk, which I'm pretty sure is a scene in the new Jackass movie.
Lure a few dwarves into some mining gear and watch what happens.
You came to the wrong mine, big...
Seeing as how Gandalf only ever gave out sage advice and teeny swords, this gun is a fun wizard gift, so thanks Claptrap, even if the end goal is to lead those drunk dwarves into their own mining gear and smash them flat. At least they died doing what they loved, being drunk. With that unspeakable brutality behind you, you take the presumably flattened beards, reforge them into a magnificent new wizard beard, and slap it on Claptrap's hairless robo-visage to complete the quest.
I feel the power!
Job's a good un, except in a tragic and irritating lack of gratitude, Claptrap also takes back the grog nozzle, at which point you realise it wasn't just a boozy novelty gun. No, the grog nozzle was actually the best self-healing, slagging, enemy debuffing gun in the whole game. Not only that, but this gun had a unique special effect whereby holding it would sometimes make you drunk, whereupon your weapon would fire 5 shots for every time you fired 1 shot because, I don't know, booze magic.
It's the one who killed Boss!
All that power, and you irretrievably threw it away by finishing the quest.
I feel wise as right now.
Well, Claptrap, that makes one of us.
It just so happens a position opened up recently. We currently need another body to guard the entrance outside. Think you can handle that?
There is a main storyline in Fallout New Vegas. It involved a platinum poker chip and Julius Caesar. And Chandler from Friends was there. Pretty sure I'm remembering that right. The point is, in Fallout New Vegas, it's easy to forget what you're supposed to be doing because of the huge variety of side missions, companion quests, and odd jobs you can pick up as you ramble aimlessly around the Nevada wasteland like a sort of violent littlest hobo. One such odd job sets in motion the side quest suggested by commenters South Park Kenny 2 and Pika and Pie. This side quest, known as Birds of a Feather, starts with you being hired to guard the front door of the Van Graff family's weapons shop, the Silver Rush.
Aw, crap. Don't tell me you're my new guard.
Straight away, there's a good reason not to finish this side quest, which is that they loan you the kit you need for this new job, namely a kick-ass set of combat armor and your choice of plasma or laser rifle, both of which you can keep if you simply don't turn in the first part of the quest. And the work itself is easy. You just turn away drunks.
Fine, I'm going. I'll take my business elsewhere.
and search people so that no one goes in with a bomb or anything.
Damn, I knew this wasn't gonna work.
Stop him!
Right, like that. Manage to not get the shop detonated by an explosive malcontent, getting paid up to 300 caps for your trouble, and the side quest continues with a request from the Van Graffs to find a specific woman called Rose of Sharon Cassidy so they can kill her.
To finalize this deal, I need to tie up a loose end. To do that, there's a girl I need you to find.
The problem with this request is that Cass, as she prefers to be called, is a companion character that you can choose to have beside you through the rest of the game.
Jean-Baptiste. Sounds like someone got knocked out of the good book so hard his name broke.
Cass also totally rules, in that she's a whiskey-quaffing cowgirl who's handy with a rifle, full of sage advice for surviving the wasteland, and gives you the Whiskey Rose Companion perk, which actually makes you much more durable and intelligent when drinking whiskey, rather than just thinking you are.
Walking the Mojave with you can't be any worse than here, that's for sure. Alright, I'm in.
If you do turn in this Birds of a Feather quest, Cass will be disintegrated in front of your very eyes, and you'll lose her as a companion for good.
I'm Jean-Baptiste, and you're about to stop being a pain in my ass.
In return, you get 350 caps, which is to say just slightly more than they paid you earlier to guard the front door for 3 minutes. Maybe I'll let that guy in with the bomb next time. Much better.
Marvelous! You and I are gonna wake this city up like a cold splash of wine to the face.
Not every quest in an RPG needs to be a grim life or death struggle with world-changing consequences. Sometimes they can just be a bit of light-hearted fun, like the mission in the Outer Worlds called Make Spacesuits Won't Travel, as suggested by commenter Isaiah D.
What I need is a survey of the outside world. What does the common laborer wear? How do the wild-eyed madmen of Monarch dress themselves? I've heard rumors, but I require samples.
You get this mission from one Celeste Jolicoeur, a fashion designer who runs Jolicoeur's haberdashery in Byzantium, a clothing store for the discerning space murderer. But Celeste is keen to expand her horizons, and she wants to know what the real people out there are wearing.
My dear, fashion is a performance art. An outfit without a body is like an instrument without a player.
As such, Celeste asks you to find, bring back, and then model for her 3 sets of clothes from 3 groups of people: iconoclasts, marauders, and spacers. You can purchase these, or just take them from the bodies of enemies after you kill them. Celeste doesn't mind a few bullet holes, it gives the clothes character, like pre-ripped, distressed jeans. After this, the enjoyable quest continues with Celeste declaring that she will create the ultimate outfit by combining style tips from all 3 modes of fashion. Fun!
The saucy confidence of a spacer, the raw contempt of an iconoclast, the brutish musk of a marauder, and the pièce de résistance, monster leather.
Celeste then tasks you with going off to collect all the raw materials she needs. And she sends you to pick up the custom lapel she's had made, which takes the form of a wry little jaunt around town with a few silly gags about post office bureaucracy.
I must respectfully ask that you calm down, please. Parcels must be picked up at window A.
Eventually, you get the lapel and return to your fun and stylish friend Celeste to discover...
Hey, careful. Don't go running around in the middle of a crime scene.
that she's been brutally murdered by the Byzantium guard for the crime of being too fashionable or something? Oh, what?
We found her in her office, working on something perverse. She didn't cooperate, so we had to put her down.
What happened to my light-hearted fun? Plus, now I'm not going to be welcome on Byzantium anymore because I'm going to have to kill all these guards. Honestly, it's one thing after another today.
You approach the shrine of Clavicus Vile. You should not be here unless you have business with Lord Clavicus.
Daedric princes, eh? What are they like? Always hatching schemes to harvest people's souls, or trying to get you to do their dark bidding, or magicking everyone's clothes off at a party.
What's going on?
Absolute mad lads. One example of the dark bidding category of side quest is the one proposed by commenter Christopher Lewis, in which Clavicus Vile, Daedric Prince of Power and Bargains, packs you off with a talking dog statuette to fetch him a sword called Umbra.
Bring the sword to me, and I'll reward you with my mask. You'll not find a better bargain, mortal.
You find out the sword contains the soul of someone who crossed Clavicus Vile, so you're already thinking this might be a quest worth skipping. And that's before the dog statuette tells you not to bother.
Clavicus has always been a little blind to that, and it'll end badly this time too. So just leave things be. Walk away. It's your best bet, really.
Still, stick with the quest and you'll discover that Umbra is currently in the possession of a woman named Lenwyn, who became a bloodthirsty killer after she found it, and who can be found nearby.
Can't say for sure. Some say they've seen her nearby, near the Vin Diesel ruins.
Near the Vin Diesel ruins? I guess all those Fast and Furious movies catch up to you eventually. Follow directions and eventually you'll meet this Lenwyn who, it must be said, has gone a bit sword crazy.
Men, women and children all have bled for me.
Seems chill. Kill Lenwyn and you receive Umbra, one of the best swords in the whole game. It has the highest level of base damage for any one-handed weapon in the game, and also traps souls, which is super handy if you keep some empty soul gems around. Best of all though, if you never head back to Clavicus Vile's shrine and turn in this quest, Umbra remains classified as a quest item for the rest of the game. What this means is that Umbra is weightless, so you never have to worry about it adding to your encumbrance, which if you're anything like us and hoover up every item that isn't nailed down, is a massive bonus. There is an option to keep the sword when you head back to the shrine and also actually finish the quest, but if you do that, it becomes a regular item with a hefty weight value of 45.
Oh well, been good knowing you, kid. Back to being his hound for me.
Hand it in, and you get Clavicus Vile's mask, a spooky bit of headwear that makes you better at talking and bartering, but isn't great for protecting you from blows to the head. Considering how we play Oblivion and how often people hit us in the head, I'll be wearing some decent head protection and hanging on to the ultra-powerful weightless murder sword. Thanks.
Now you will know.
I never thought our empire would fall.
It won't. We will sleep here until the Reapers return to dark space. Then we will rise, 1,000,000 strong.
For the Empire.
For the Empire. Get to your stasis pod.
The Mass Effect 3 companion character Javik is a complicated figure with a lot of tragic backstory and a lot of eyes. Having escaped the Reapers annihilating his whole civilization 50,000 years ago by being stuck in a stasis pod ever since, Javik is the last survivor of the ancient Prothean race, and personally invested in putting an end to the Reaper threat.
Will you join us?
You fight the Reapers?
Yes.
Once you recruit Javik by finding his stasis pod and ending his 50 millennia long snooze, you're presented with a side activity for this companion, as suggested by commenter Casey Wonder 99. This side activity entails deciding whether or not to encourage Javik to activate a relic called the Echo Shard, which looks like an exclusive luxury credit card, but is more like a hard drive that contains the collected memories of the long-dead Prothean race.
How far back does it go?
To a time before the Reapers. It is all that is left of my people.
If you are a nostalgic sort of Commander Shepard, or if you just think the shard might contain Javik's Bitcoin wallet, you might have told Javik to shard it up.
If I had something like this, seeing Earth again, whole, with everyone still alive, that would be worth the pain.
Javik using the shard goes about as well as vividly reawakening a civilization's worth of traumatic, painful memories would go.
The Reapers came. Planet by planet we were extinguished. We fought back.
Oops, you thought? But at least that's over and done with, and it's definitely going to light a fire under Javik's butt to keep on fighting and avenge his people.
It was the day I understood. War is atrocity committed in the name of survival.
Close enough. Only no, that's not over and done with, because near the end of the game, when you say goodbye to Javik, if you did tell him to touch the memory shard, his plan for celebrating a galaxy free of Reapers is now to go and join his dead people.
I will go to the Cronian Nebula, and I will find their graves. I will put their ghosts to rest, and then I will join them.
Heavy stuff. So you save the galaxy, but doom the solitary surviving member of an ancient alien race. I want to say, you can't win them all, And it is Javik's decision, sure, but on the other hand, if you hadn't told him to touch the shard, instead of planning his own death, Javik is planning on having a nice time co-writing a book with Liara.
Perhaps I will write a book with the Asar, with Dr. Tassoni. She suggests Journeys with the Prothean.
I think I'll wait for the movie. Still, have fun.
A general rule for survival in Bloodborne is to never display any kindness or help anyone ever. I don't care how innocuous they look. Thanks, Bloodborne. But surely we can make an exception for the little girl in this Bloodborne side story suggested by commenter Harris Hoyne, who is sad because she misses her parents.
I don't know your voice, but I know that smell. Are you a hunter? Maybe it's through look for my mum. Daddy never came back from the hunt, and she went to find him. But now she's gone too. I'm all alone and scared.
Haha, wrong, sucker. It's definitely a bad idea, though maybe not for the reasons you're thinking. This girl is the daughter of a woman named Viola and Father Gascoigne, who you might remember as the guy you first encounter hacking away at a bunch of corpses in a cemetery, and who, when you fight him, turns into a massive hulking beast that tears you apart with its powerful claws. Hard to forget something like that, really. Anyway, if you do manage to kill Gascoigne, he will drop a red jeweled brooch that you can either use yourself to fortify your weapons, or, if you fancy completing this side story, you can return to the sad little girl. Now you can either show her the brooch, or choose to keep it to yourself, but bear in mind, if you show it to her, she'll know her parents are dead, so only a real monster would
Mr. Hunter, was it really her? Mummy? Mummy? Leave me alone.
Damn, Luke, that's cold. Anyway, whichever option you choose, the girl will then leave the safety of her house and try to make it to safety elsewhere, which seems like a bad idea, and is, as you'll discover if you kill this giant pig down in the sewers. That's right, it seems very likely this ribbon you picked up belonged to the little girl, which means it's highly probable that she was killed and eaten by a massive angry pig. Still, at least that's an end to it. Oh wait, I'm just reading here, if you give the girl's sister the ribbon, she loses her mind and kills herself. No more Bloodborne today.
Inside! Man, I don't know who you are, but your timing's impeccable. Preston Garvey, Commonwealth Minuteman.
If you played Fallout 4, you'll almost certainly recall Preston Garvey, the leader of the Minutemen. So called because a minute is the maximum they're prepared to wait before bothering you about some boring nonsense.
I've heard of another settlement that's in trouble. Here's where they are. I hope you can help them. We've got to show people they can count on the Minutemen again.
I'm a pretty busy guy, Preston. Extremely busy. What? These Red Menace high scores aren't going to set themselves. Your first encounter with the Minutemen occurs shortly after you emerge from the vault as you wander into the historic town of Concord, where Garvey and his pals are holed up and under attack in the Museum of Freedom. Sort of ironic, given that they literally can't leave the building.
The raiders are almost through the door! Grab that laser musket and help us, please!
Clearing out the raiders by the door kicks off a quest called When Freedom Calls. Help Garvey by fighting your way up through the museum, and you'll receive a set of power armor and a perception bobblehead for your trouble. But this sweet reward comes at a terrible cost.
For the longest time, Mama Murphy's had a vision of a place called Sanctuary. Some old neighborhood, but one we can make new again. Why don't you come with us?
Complete the When Freedom Calls quest and you'll be ambushed into joining the Minutemen faction and helping them establish a settlement called Sanctuary. This kicks off a randomized, never-ending series of quests that ensure that every time you, the sole survivor, wants to head home and put your feet up after a hard day's soul surviving, Preston Garvey is there to bother you with some more tedious busy work.
I cleared out that spot you sent me to and set up a radio beacon there.
That's great news. Once folks have some place to call their own, they'll be willing to help defend it. As usual, I have something else for you to look into.
As usual? So you recognise that this is happening constantly then? This endless stream of mini-quests lasts for the whole game, and as if that wasn't bad enough, when the Minutemen move into Sanctuary, their main contribution appears to be constantly hitting things with hammers night and day. I've been playing this game for 40 hours! How have you not built a hot tub yet? What most people don't realise is that When Freedom Calls isn't a main story quest at all. It's a side quest. You can still grab the useful power armor and the bobblehead, but as long as you don't return indoors after clearing out the second wave of enemies outside the museum, Preston will never invite you to join the Minutemen and thus can't load you up with pointless odd jobs for the rest of the playthrough. Instead, you can then make your way directly to Diamond City where the main plot carries on regardless, even if you ignore Garvey's plight entirely.
You want into Diamond City, right?
I just got here, but yeah.
So remember, when freedom calls, you can just let it go to voicemail.
That was a pretty amazing display. I'm just glad you were on our side.
So those were 7 more side quests that you definitely shouldn't finish. Thank you so much for making time in your busy schedule to watch it. I know you're a high-powered city lawyer and you've got lots of cases to get through. So in exchange, I'll give you a little tip for your next case. Look into the business partner. His trip to Hawaii, suspicious. Why didn't he have a tan? Is all I'm saying. Anyway, bear that in mind. And also, if you've got more time, why not check out one of these videos? Up here is one from us. Down here is one from Outside Extra. Hope you enjoy. And also, yeah, check out the business partner. He did it for money.